This week, there's been a big protest. Honestly, I don't think the government has done enough to respond. It's been a long and tough week. I just got back from checking on the animals. It's a terrible storm outside. Farming is a full-time, 7 days a week job. That's why I really respect everyone who went all the way to London to make their voices heard. The least the government could do is listen and say, "We hear you, and we'll think about the decisions we've made." It's never too late to admit you made a mistake. Sometimes, just saying, "We got it wrong, we're sorry, and we'll fix it," earns more respect. I've seen that in politics, too. When leaders own up to their mistakes and promise to do better, people respect the honesty. I've made plenty of mistakes myself, especially in farming. But if you don't learn from them, how do you move forward? Right now, it's frustrating to see the government spending money on farming projects abroad instead of supporting local farms here in the UK. We need food security. It's a huge issue. Farmers are already struggling, and now they're talking about this inheritance tax. The government says it'll only affect 20% of farmers, but their own numbers show it could actually hit 70 to 80%. This affects everyone, not just farmers. To pay that tax, farmers like us will have to raise food prices. That means groceries will cost more. And who suffers the most? The poorest people. They'll end up buying cheap, unhealthy junk food because they can't afford fresh, healthy options. That just makes the NHS crisis worse. More people will face health problems like obesity and diabetes. It's all connected: higher food prices, worse health, more pressure on the NHS. Instead of helping, we're letting local farmers struggle while supporting farms abroad. It feels like biting the hand that feeds you. Look at the problems we already have: food banks, homelessness, and an NHS barely holding up. Charity should start at home. Some people say farmers should pay inheritance tax like everyone else. But here's the thing, only about 4% of people pay inheritance tax because most don't have the kinds of assets farmers do. For farmers, our land and equipment are our working capital, they're not just sitting there like wealth. We might look rich on paper, but we're often cash poor, especially when we're trying to keep food prices low. This tax will force many farmers to make hard decisions. It could destroy family farms that have been around for generations. And it won't even raise much money. Rachel Reeves says it's to help the NHS, but it would only cover about a single day of the NHS budget. It's not worth the damage it will cause. If the government really wanted to tax the super-rich, they could have set the threshold much higher, like £8 or £9 million. But this tax hits everyday farmers who've spent their lives working hard for their land. So, what's the government's goal? Honestly, I don't know. Maybe it's just bad planning. But it feels like they're pushing us to rely on cheap imported food instead of supporting local farms. That's risky. We've already seen issues abroad: floods in Spain, the war in Ukraine. If we lose local farms, we lose control of our food supply. Imagine the panic if grocery shelves go empty. It would be worse than the toilet paper shortages during COVID. What should happen now? The government needs to scrap this tax or at least make it fair by targeting the ultra-rich, not regular working farmers. Most farms are businesses, not luxury assets. My family has been farming here for 375 years. My dad's never taken a holiday, never bought a new car, and put everything into this land. If we lose this farm, it's not just our family that suffers. It's the whole community that depends on us for fresh, affordable food. Thanks for watching. I hope people listen before it's too late. What do you think? Share your thoughts in the comments. If you like this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it.